A new Warhammer 40,000 game has just released, and this time we're a rogue trader. Hello and welcome to the Critically Curious. I'm a Monk, and today we're going to be doing a review for Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader. Now, this is an isometric turn-based tactical RPG developed by Owlcat Games. You may remember them from the Pathfinder games if you're familiar with the genre. And of course, you can find this on the PlayStation, the Xbox, both the old gen and the new gen, and of course on PC as well. It will set you back around £40 depending on which platform you're actually buying it on. And as you can see, this is a turn-based combat game. So if you're very familiar with the channel, then you'll know that turn-based strategy games are an absolute passion for us. Now, I guess first things first, this is a Warhammer 40,000 game, and Rogue Trader certainly dives head first into that entire genre. So, two things here really. If you are familiar with Warhammer 40,000 and if you are a Warhammer buff, then you're going to absolutely love this game because it is just full of lore and full of things for you to get your head stuck in and learn, and you're probably going to be very familiar with the universe that they are trying to make. However, if you are not so familiar with that Warhammer 40,000 verse, then this game is going to be a little bit harder for you to get into. But as I said before, this is a £40 game, and this game definitely delivers on that content. It's around 120 hours in length. It's absolutely gigantic, this game. There is so much to do, so many things to progress through, that you can very quite easily get lost in it. And if you stick with the story, if you stick with the lore, I feel like this is a game that you can definitely get sucked into despite not knowing a huge amount of Warhammer knowledge. Now, me personally, I do love my Warhammer 40,000 games. However, I wouldn't say that I am, very well scripted in all of the lore that the Warhammerverse actually has to offer. Having said that, I found it really fascinating the amount of detail that is in this game. There is certainly a lot in there that if you want to dive in it, it's definitely got you covered. That being said, this is one of those strategy RPGs, and it works very well like that as well, in a sense that you get to create your character. There is a leveling system. There are perks and points and things like that that you can pop on. There's different build classes that you can have. There are different troop classes that you can have and different weapons that you can pop on those different things as well. And as you go around the board, going from battle to battle, going from room to room, you'll find lots of different things for you to loot, and for, of course, that loot to be popped on your character or to just be sold for profit. When it comes to that character customization, I felt like there was enough there for you to make a unique character, one that you can be happy with for the next 100 hours, that you can feel kind of confident that there isn't another clone out there somewhere. It's also worth noting that there are 5 different difficulties to this game, including the ability to actually customize those settings. So when it comes to actually replayability, this game certainly has you covered. The combat style, I feel, is a bit of a mix between games like Pathfinder that the company are very, very familiar with, and that of XCOM, in the sense that there is a cover system, a full cover, half cover system, and of course you've got your troops to be able to move into melee combat. You've got guns, and you've even got an element of magic as well. Some of the things that I really quite like is the RPG side of it. So for instance, getting your perception up, getting your persuasion up, and then you've got those skill checks that you will run across throughout your game. You'll be very familiar with them, especially this year with games like Baldur's Gate 3 being released. I'm sure many people have jumped from that, maybe even going into this. So all of those RPG elements that you can expect, that you have played and seen from games like Pathfinder and Wrath of the Righteous, are here in this game and present as well. And on top of your party that you are recruiting and leveling and trying to kit out, you also have a ship that you're also trying to upgrade and kit out and manage along the way, as well as having to manage the crew that man that ship too. So there's loads of different systems and elements involved in this game. You kind of have to keep on top of as you go throughout. One thing I think it's handy to point out is that the tutorial within this game, as you probably expect maybe from playing previous versions of these types of games, isn't the best. It could definitely 100% use a better, more detailed tutorial mode. The prologue tries to do a decent job of showing you the different kind of mechanics, but at the same time, it does kind of just throw you in there and expect you to figure those things out for yourself. For instance, going back through to the combat essentially is pretty simple. There is a lot of it within the game, and most of the combat situations that you'll encounter, especially early game, are full of a lot of cannon fodder. So a lot of troops, you'll be outnumbered a lot of the time. They have a lot of low health, so you kind of feel a little bit overpowered being able to one-shot the majority of the enemies on the field. However, there's normally one or two bigger, badder enemies that you have to figure out the perfect way to kill them, and it isn't always as straightforward as first seems. Sometimes you'll be playing for about half an hour in one battle before you'll realize something you should have done at the beginning, and it kind of forces you to restart that battle. Can be a little bit annoying, or of course you could find that a good thing. Depends on how you look at it. Not all of these battles are straightforward. What breaks up all of these battles, though, is the dialogue. There is a lot of dialogue within this game, and that comes with a little bit of a caveat as well. Some of this game is voice acted. It's not all voice acted. I wish there was more voice acting involved within this game. However, this is a gigantic game, so the kind of lengths that they'd have to go through to fully voice act this game would be quite difficult. However, there is an awful lot of reading, whether that a good thing or a bad thing. It really depends how much you want to get into this game, but I do feel like the amount of reading that's in this game is going to unfortunately hamper a few people trying to get into it.
I shall pity not your enemies. I shall heed not their pleas.
Somebody shoot these.
Shall betray not your tenets, nor stray one step from them. Take not your gaze from me. Leave me not without your grace.
I told you he would protect us.
My God, my light, my emperor.
However, when the cutscenes do hit, they do hit pretty well, to be fair. And honestly, the companions that you meet along the way that kind of get introduced into your story are some of the best elements of this game. Every single companion you absolutely want to get to know better. So they've done a really, really good job there. Now, for the most part, I am full of praise of this game. I honestly think it is definitely value for your money. It works pretty well. However, I have had bugs, I have had issues, and I have had dashboarding, unfortunately, as well. Now, I'm currently playing on the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. Both of them are performing pretty well, but the further you get into the game, the more bugs that you can see. Now, unfortunately, we've had these before, especially with Outcats, with games like Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous. I'm pleased to say it is not that bad at all. This is a lot cleaner than those games, but still those games do persist, and the loading times, particularly on console, can be painful at times because there's a lot of gates. There are a lot of loading times. On PC, it is a lot smoother. So depending on which platform you are forced to buy on, there is that to consider. All in all, though, so far I'm having a lot of fun. Now, I've played this game before launch within the alpha. I'm very pleased to announce that the day one patch that got brought out really did improve this game massively. Has been a lot of fun to go in. I think one of the things I love about this game the most is your own agency, as in how you want to play out this game, how you want this story to go. You've got real choice in those those decisions, and those decisions have, you know, impact and consequences as well. I love games that give you agency. I really do. I think that there should be more of them out there, and I think that Owlcats have done a fabulous job with Rogue Trader. All in all, I'm going to give this game an 8 out of 10. It's one that I would recommend to many people. If you love these kind of games, you're probably going to like this one as well. I also failed to mention that this is a 6-player co-op. I honestly struggle to think of another game that has a 6-player co-op, but here we go. This game does. You can, of course, play it with just 2 people. It's a lot of fun. The multiplayer isn't something I've been able to mess around with up until now, but it's something that I'm definitely looking to get into. So if you are picking this game and you want someone to play with, I do have an active and growing Discord. The link can be found down in the description of the video. Maybe join, come say hi, and let us know how you're getting on. But if you stuck around to the very end of this video, a big thank you to you. Don't forget to comment red banana down below. Just confuse all those people either new to the channel or that didn't stick around to the very end.